What is up? Hello. This is Ellie, and you're listening to my second episode of my digital diary. So, wow, I have launched a podcast officially, and I have a feeling that I'm really going to keep this up because I have been itching to record this all week. So, number one, I am sorry it was an hour and a half long, my first episode. I intentionally set this up to where I would only have, 30 minutes. Okay, that's actually not going to be enough time. So I'll probably record half of this in this setting and then pause and then pick up maybe tomorrow. But yeah, so I officially have 18 streams. Woohoo! It's very hard for me to put myself out there in this type of way because one of my dear friends and we um, launched a cup business. Not to make the cups, but to sell decorated cups that we decorated. And we sold a whopping 0 cups. So I wasn't. Oh, and then I launched a tutoring business that got a whopping 0 interactions. So when I started a podcast, I was like, no one's gonna listen to it. Like, who wants to listen to some random girl yap on Spotify? And I got a comment within the first few days, and I don't even think I know this person. The comment was so intentional and so nice, and my friends are loving it. They're listening to it, and this is crazy. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this, and I've actually thought about what I was going to record today all week because literally last week I was like, what am I going to talk about? Oh yeah, and then yapped for an hour and a half. So just kind of on the spot. But this week I really thought about it and came up with okay, this is what I'm going to talk about. And but before we get into that, let's start with our expanding my taste segment. I still have to figure out how to get music and sound effects going on this, but in front of me, I have an Alani Breezeberry energy drink. And what's funny is that, well, hold on, let me crack it open. Hopefully that was nice and crispy for you guys. Oh. Okay. If this thing explodes on me. Okay. I had said last week that I'm really new to the whole energy drink energy drink vibe. I don't know what you call it. And but last week I was thinking I'm gonna try a new Alani drink and talk about the Alani drinks that I've tried, which ones I like, which ones I don't like. And then I'm like, I record these in the evening. When am I ever gonna have an evening where I want an energy drink? Well, tonight's the night. I have worship rehearsal in an hour, and then I have a birthday party I'm going to, which I am so excited. I'm sad I have to go there late because my rehearsal is definitely cutting into it. But okay. I'm super excited about it because this is a friend that I love so much. I'll just tell you a little bit about her without saying her name. She'll know who she is. If she even listens. But she is someone that when I first met her, I was just like, wow, she's one of the most beautiful people I've ever seen in my entire life. And we met at small group, and she is so funny and just has this great ability to laugh at herself, and she's just very humble and very just fun to be around. I really enjoy her. And when you look at her Instagram, you think she's a model. And when you look at her in person, you think she's a model. And yeah, I love her. And I'm so glad I was invited to her birthday party. And so I'm looking forward to that, which means I'm gonna need an Alani because your girl goes to bed at 8, and I'm gonna be showing up to the party at 8. So ish. So going back to expanding my taste, I have tried a lot of the Alani flavors. I actually have ordered the Witch's Brew flavor because I never got to try it and I heard it was amazing. So I ordered it and it's coming. But I have tried all the slush flavors, Cosmo, whatever that one's called, like the space one, the peach one, the strawberry sunrise, whatever it's called. I think that's it. Oh, the orange one, I didn't like that one. But most of them I liked. The slushes are my favorite. They're not actually a slush, but they're just like flavored, like pink slush, blue slush, cherry slush. Those are my favorite, even though I don't even like a slush. I don't really understand why I like them so much. So this one's not like a huge, like I haven't heard a bunch of people rave about this flavor, the breezeberry, but it's supposed to be like a blue raspberry, which I have never understood. Why is there a blue raspberry flavor? Like it's just raspberry, right? Like why is it blue? Maybe because there's already like cherry and strawberry and watermelon that are already red. Because I actually just tried a raspberry for the first time this year. My 25th year of life is when I finally tried a raspberry. Shocking, I know. But they're very good. Okay, let's try it. It's okay. Let me take another drink. It's definitely giving artificial, which I mean, it literally says, well, it says natural flavors, flavored with other natural flavors. Let's read what these natural flavors are because that just tastes like not like I wouldn't be able to pinpoint a flavor. Let's see. Where does it say? All of these words in the ingredients, I can't really read. Oh, it just says natural flavors. Interesting. Well, I don't think they taste like raspberry at all, but I will drink it because I'm going to need the energy tonight. Okay, so that was short and sweet. Sort of. It's 8 minutes long. Before I get into this, my like breaking news topic of the week, which you'll know based off the title, I have to tell you guys about what I did today. So I'm recording this on Tuesday, April 1st, April Fool's Day, and I pranked my class so good. Well, not like they fell for it, but like it was just a really fun experience. I played the prank that I was a new student and that I put 3 of my kids, not me, but like the principal put 3 kids in charge of like being the teacher for the day. Guys, it was so endearing watching them trying to like take care of all my responsibilities. I had them answering the phones. I had them on my computer pulling up brain breaks, passing out papers, helping students who were like to calm students down, to get them back on task. And they were like little chickens with their heads cut off. Like the 3 that were in charge. It was so funny. And they're like, please help us. And I'm like, can you believe I do this all by myself every single day? So anyway, I dressed up like a little girl and brought my backpack and brown paper sack. It was really fun. And I really got to see them step up as leaders. And by the end of the day, like they had the class regulated. And I mean, I helped a little bit. Like when they were going really crazy, I would kind of like snap out of it and like get them back to calm. But like I'm not gonna say it was all peaches and rainbows and sunshine and all that. But like, they were saying things that I say all the time, like, just, like, the phrases that they would say are things that I say all the time, and it just was really sweet to see. So, if you're listening and you're a friend who helped with that, thank you so much. I think it was a really awesome experience. Um, I wanted to share a little bit about body neutrality as my breaking news segment. So, this has kind of been rolling around in my brain these last few months. I recently have had some friends kind of go through what they call like a second puberty, where like you're kind of getting your womanly figure. Um, I've had a couple friends where it just kind of naturally happened to them. I had a friend who had a baby recently, and so it's happening to her a little bit. And it really didn't happen to me because I've had a mom bod since I was like, what, 15? So I don't really feel like I had that. But I've seen it on TikTok and I've seen it, online. And um, I've just been in conversations with people about, how their body's changing. And I just kind of wanted to talk about my journey with that. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying I know my intentions in my heart are pure. I see beauty in everybody. Um, there's not really a one size fits all definition of beautiful or healthy or any of those words. And so I just want to go into this saying, I feel like I would spend more time backpedaling if I didn't say this. And I just want to get to the point and just say what I feel without people assuming wrong intentions from me. So this may be a sensitive topic for you. So if this is not something that you're interested in listening to, that's totally fine. You can totally skip. I can try to put, if I remember, try to put in the show notes where I kind of shift to dating and media, or you just skip this episode altogether. I won't really, I won't, not like I'm going to be like, oh, how dare they, So I'm just happy people are listening at all at this point. So I'll kind of just start at the beginning and share how my body image has changed and how now I have friends going through sort of similar things a little bit and kind of my mindset. So growing up, I had to wear a bra in first grade. That's when I started wearing a training bra. And I have been a plus size person for a long period of my life. I would say probably not as far as first grade, but I definitely hit like puberty things before I really hit puberty. But I guess I would say my mom would have to like help me with this. I would say probably like 13. I was getting into more of like the plus size era. That would be when I started. And looking back at pictures of me like 10, 11, 12, I really look normal compared to like just seeing me by myself in a picture. I'm like, oh, that looks normal. But when you compare myself to other girls when they're 10, 11, 12, I was 6 inches taller than them. And like I looked like 16 when I was 12. Like I kind of always looked a little bit older than like 5 years older than what I actually was. I was really, really tall growing up, but then I stopped growing and now I'm more average size. And I've always had very high self-confidence. My mom, like, never let me and my sister talk badly about each other. We didn't really have the relationship where it was, like, trying to kill each other and, like, being mean to each other our whole lives. Like, we didn't really have that. And so I viewed myself very highly. I mean, I was popular in elementary school. I was friendly. I wore cute clothes. I did well in school. Like, life was great. And Um, so that was kind of my start. And then in middle school, junior high, high school, it started like girls got meaner and I started to stand out more because I was starting to look more like a teenager before I really was a teenager. But to them, what was cool was petite, and I was not. And so that's when you started getting into like getting picked last in PE. Like, and it wasn't really what I would call bullying at all. It just was like knowing that going to a sleepover, I couldn't wear my friends' clothes to bed. Like, if I forgot clothes or whatever, like, we were not swapping shirts. We were not like, swapping clothes from each other's closets. Like, my feet were bigger than other people's. My pants were bigger. Like, I just was a growing girl, and I was a couple years ahead of everybody else. And I still looked at myself in the mirror and was like, you're hot, or you're pretty. I guess I'm young. I'm pretty. Um, and then in high school, that's when I kind of started like, okay, I couldn't really buy jeans at. I mean, I get in high school, you're not shopping at Justice. Where are people shopping at? Like, I'm trying to think. I just remember going to Maurice's and having to go to like the plus size section. Like, and plus size back then was like 12, 14. It was like, oh, you're different. And I found myself being typecast in theater shows as the mom or the old lady, or, and I would have loved to be the star, but one, I don't think my talent was quite there. And two, like, I had the mom figure. Like, why would you not cast me as the mom? But I was confused as a kid. And I mean, you obviously can cast whoever you want, but I don't think poorly of those people. They were just making the right decision for their show. So then we get into boys, and like, I like all the, like, I'm boy crazy. Like, I love love, and I can't wait to like have my happily ever after and get married and, have my first kiss and all those things. And it was, I mean, like, no guys that I was into were into me. And it was confusing. I'm like, but everyone had a crush on me in elementary school. Like, on Valentine's Day, I would get like 6 boxes of chocolate from 6 different guys. Like, and then now things are different. And like, I'm not a cheerleader. I'm in theater. Like, it just like things started to kind of shift, and like, I was bigger than these guys. Like, my thighs were bigger. I weighed more than them. Sometimes I was taller than them. And so that's when I really started looking at myself like, dang, like, these boys' eyes are broken because I'm hot, but for some reason they don't see beauty in me. And it was a little bit confusing. And so then I get into college, and the same sort of thing starts to happen, where now I'm actually becoming friends with the guys. Back in high school, it was like, ooh, let's like say something flirty or joking to her because she's gonna blush and it's gonna be funny and we'll laugh at her. Like, that's kind of how it was in high school. So like, I was only friends with like the gay theater kids, the gay theater guys. But in college, I started becoming friends with some guys, and they were really nice, and a couple of them would like offer to walk me to class and tell me that I looked pretty, or comment like a heart eyes under my picture on Instagram. And I'm like, oh, they like me. Which I still think to this day, like, how, well, duh, they like you. But then they would say things like, why didn't you invite me to the dance? Or, well, no girls like me. Like, I wish someone would like me, or yada yada. And I would be like, I like you. Or, I figured every girl would ask you, and that, like, I just would be honest with them, like, when are you gonna ask me out? And they're like, oh, um, like, you're one of my really good friends, but like, you're not really my type. I'm sorry. And like, it just was reiterated again, like, you're lovable on the inside, but for some reason your outside is not lovable. And it just was very interesting. And all I'm saying, this is just my experience. I'm not saying that's truth. I'm just telling you what I was experiencing when I was experiencing it. And So again, I just was like looking in the mirror, like, why don't they see what I see? Why don't they see how beautiful I am? And, I'm so grateful that I didn't let it really, I didn't, that somehow, I wasn't me, it was God that didn't allow me to start hating my body. And I know that's something that people go through. And I really feel for those people. I pray for people that look at their body and hate themselves or hate their body or hate the way they look. Um, they shouldn't feel that way because, and it's not like, oh, you shouldn't feel that way, and bam, oh, I'm fixed. Like, I know it's hard. It's very hard. And, I just always saw myself as, like, I would look down at my body and I would think, this is the body that's gotten me through life. My whole life. Everything I've gone through, amazing times and horrendous times, my body has gotten me through it. Why would I hate it? Like, there's marks on my arms of I call my arm rolls, baby rolls. I haven't mentioned them in forever. I actually can't remember what I used to call them, but they're like a wrinkle almost, like a fat roll, barely, on my like right by the crease of my elbow, and like my mom used to always tell me like that's your leftover baby fat, that you could never lose, and not in a demeaning way, but like in a funny way. And so I look at things like that. I'm like, this is the body that baby Ellie was in. It's just growing. And like, I don't know, how could you hate that? I know people do, and I know that it's hard to not for some people, but for me, I just never got there. I never got to that point. And so anyway, I as much as I loved my body, it was hurtful to know that men that I was interested in, or boys, we'll say boys because I was like in high school and college, I had this strong desire to be married. I would see other people get married and or be in relationships, and I'm like, why not me? And like, I have guy friends, people like to hang out with me, but it's never me. I'm the girl you call when the girl you like denies you or says no to going on a date or gets a boyfriend, like, but I'm not the one that you're attracted to. And so that was hard. And but then finally, um I did find someone who liked me. This person actually was my really, really close friend for about 6 months, I think, before we started dating. And I really think it was one of those things where he liked my personality, but, and then like the more he got to know me, like the more attracted he got. And, but then one day, he was like, I really like you. And would you be willing to go on a date with me? And I have just looking back, there's a lot of details I won't share because, they're near and dear to my heart, but that really was like one of the best nights of my life. Just, it was like a childhood dream come true. Like, finally, someone sees the beauty that I've seen in myself my whole life. And it was like, that was almost like my fairy tale ending. Like, even though it was just beginning. And, um, I it ended up being a horrible crash out breakup. But I look back on this person and like I don't have any hate for him and I don't um hold any grudge or anything. Um I hope I you know, I hope him all the best and I pray that I know that God's using him, but I pray that God continues to bless him and so that was really monumental for me and it opened my eyes to like, oh, like my body is attractive and to somebody like it is to me, but there are men out here who like my body for the way that it is. Not like, "Oh, I've fallen in love with you and yeah, I'll put up with your body." It was like, "No, I love this part of your body." And that's what I kind of noticed when I graduated college and started dating. I mean, these people I met on dating apps where they only saw my body and wanted to date me, like, or wanted to go on a date with me. And it was so interesting, the shift that happened. And as much as I wish, well, like, I've always been confident, but it really leveled up my confidence to know, okay, like there is a breed of man who likes a plus size woman. And it really helped me feel confident in all areas. Even when I'm around guys who I figure don't find me attractive. Like when I was in high school and college, I would find myself becoming insecure around guys because it was just this gut feeling like, oh, they're not attracted to me, which I don't even want them to be attracted to me, but like it was just this constant reminder of like, he's not attracted to you because you're not skinny or because you're not fit or because you're not short or because, all these things like, and I don't know why. It just was the thing that was always ringing in my ears. Um but that kind of went away after I dated people like in the quote unquote real world. Um and now I have just come to this conclusion like there's this metaphor like um champagne is a drink that is so highly regarded that they only drink it on the most special occasions. You drink it at weddings, you drink it on New Year's, you drink it at, other big events like opening of a store, opening of a business, housewarming party, all these celebrations you drink champagne. I don't like champagne. I won't really drink it. I'll like settle for like half a cup of it on New Year's, but that's really it. You're not going to be everyone's cup of tea. There is not a single drink out there, not a single woman, not a single man out there that everyone would be dying to be with them. And that's not the way of the world. That's not how God created us. God created us to be with one man, one woman, like in a union. Like, you don't want everyone to be with you. That's not the way God has created things. And so I've always grown up knowing, okay, like I only need one. I only need one. Why does it matter that this guy doesn't think I'm attractive? That 100% of the people in this room alone don't find me attractive? Because my one is in a different room. Why does it matter? But for women, it's such a big, yeah, I mean, for all people, it can be a really big challenge. And so when it comes to my day to day, I can walk, like, I think about yesterday. I was in cheetah print pants and a black top with puffy sleeves and some cute black flats with like big silver buckles on them. And I walked into a restaurant to pick up an order because I do DoorDash and Uber Eats on the side. This was also my outfit for teaching. I'm not trying to wear this when I'm delivering food. But I walked into this restaurant and like I understand there's like when someone comes in, some people are going to look over at them. But like I walked in with confidence because I just am a confident person and someone complimented my outfit. And I'm like, yeah, the pieces I had on were cute and they were cute together and I looked flattering in them. But if I came in with my arms crossed, my shoulders slouched, my eyes to the floor, would someone have noticed? Would someone have seen, this spark of confidence? And I've walked into the room sometimes and I'm not super confident about my outfit, but I walk in with joy because I'm excited to be at this place, or I walk in excited because I'm excited to see my friends. and I get complimented on my outfit, or I'd say I look pretty or whatever, and I'm like, "Thank you, like, I really was not expecting that." And then there are women in that same room who are drop dead gorgeous, but who are, you know, again, their eyes are shifted to the floor, their arms are crossed, like, they have a jacket wrapped around them, like, and, you know, people are not you're not oozing confidence when that's your body language. So it really confidence comes from within. It does not come from your outward appearance. And so whenever I see my friends who their bodies are changing, maybe their clothing sizes are changing, they're kind of coming into their womanly figure, I just want to shake them and be like, "See yourself as I see you." To me, they haven't changed a bit. I barely even like I genuinely I didn't notice you changed at all. Like, and what I love about you has nothing to do with what you look like. Like, I put on my dating profiles, my bio says, "My body is the least interesting thing about me." Period. And I just wish like, and I know that they're not thinking, "Oh, my friends are gonna like me less because I am a size bigger in jeans." I know that's not where it comes from, but I just want to give their heart a hug and just be like, no one notices. And I get the fact that you notice is enough, or the fact that your spouse notices is enough to make you feel less than. And I hate that for you. And I just wish you could look down at yourself and see this is the body that's carried you for however many years. You only get one. Don't waste time hating it. And, I used to ask God whenever I was laying in bed, right before I went to sleep, "God, what do you love about me? Or how do you see me?" And He would say, "Ellie, I see you as someone that I spent time on creating. I curled every curl in your head. I placed every freckle on your body, you know, and you are my creation and I adore you." And I just hope that when you look in the mirror, you see yourself as Christ sees you, as someone to be adored, someone who is worthy of loving, and someone who has so much value in them that has nothing to do with what they look like. And like, you think about women who have changed the world. Like, the two people that come to mind, which are kind of random, are Eleanor Roosevelt and Amelia Earhart. You don't know them based on what size dress they were, how beautiful their makeup skills were. You don't know them based off their fashion. Like, it's what they've done to change the world, and what accomplishments they had, how they treated the people around them. Like, would they mean more to the world or have done better things for the world if they were quote unquote like more beautiful, or like people recognize them for their beauty? Like, it doesn't matter. And I'm not saying they're not beautiful. Like, every creature that God has created is beautiful or handsome. Like, obviously, I love Amelia's short hair with the curls. I love it. But it's like, and you think of like Mother Teresa. I don't even know what Mother Teresa looked like. Genuinely, I could not pick her out of a lineup. But I know that she changed the world with how she lived her life. It doesn't matter, dude. Like, and I know that now looks are so much more prevalent because of social media, but it's like, at the end of the day, what kind of friend are you? What kind of wife are you? What kind of sister, daughter, coworker, boss, perhaps, are you? That is where your character comes from. I hope to God that's why your friends are friends with you, why your spouse is with you. Beauty fades, and I just hope that everyone who's listening can find beauty in themselves, and I hope that the people you're surrounded by are recognizing your beauty and or even just your value as a human being. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. And I'll even say this for the men category. I know that was very woman heavy, but if you're a man listening, I know that sometimes it can be hard to be more of like a lean, slim guy, or maybe it's hard to be an overweight guy. Um, it feels like the quote unquote like goal body or whatever for a guy is like super big muscles and rock hard abs, like whatever. But it's like I'm thinking about the guys I've dated that I've fallen in love with at some in some sort of depth. Um, there have been guys who are slightly taller than me and 100 pounds um, lighter than me. I've fallen in love with guys who are just about like 5'10" and have like almost like a beer belly almost type of a look, like somewhat slim and then a big belly. And then I've fallen in love with guys that are way taller than me and way broader than me, and they make me feel small. And I don't really have a type. I mean, my friends would say I have a type. Um and I'm not sharing that on the internet, but like I really hope that there are men out there who can also find um they're handsome, because I mean, every man is handsome in their own way. I mean, gosh, I think about my taste versus my friend's taste. Like, there are some men who I'm like, man, like that, I could never see myself with somebody like that. And then there's some men who look completely different. And I'm like, I still don't think I would really like that. And we just all have different types and preferences. And it's okay to have a preference. It doesn't mean that you think other people are ugly or that you think other people are not worthy of finding love. I hope to God that's not what you're thinking. I mean, I know there's people out there who comment things like that. But yeah, so that's kind of wrapping up that segment. I hope you found some value in that you can find ways to bring some of these things into your life, and change the way you think a little bit. I'm going to take a short break. For you, it's going to be really short. For me, it's going to be about 24-hour break, as I'm going to rush to worship rehearsal and then to this birthday party, and I will come back tomorrow and finish recording. And we're back. Hello. All right. So that break for you guys was about a millisecond, and for me, it was a full 24 hours. So we are back. I'm now recording on April 2nd, and I'm here to just jump in with the third wheel segment and my media roundup. So to kind of close up the podcast. So really, I don't have much to update y'all on my dating life. I've had some interesting conversations with people about dating in the last week since I have recorded and uploaded last week's episode. Okay. And I'll just kind of briefly share, like not very long at all. We'll see how long this is. So I had a conversation with one of my best friend's husbands, who's a really good friend of mine too, and I really respect him, and he's an awesome person, and we just have a ball, the three of us. He just has such an interesting outlook on dating now. We had shared like how we've thought about dating when we were younger, and now it's definitely changed. And I think honestly for everyone, our kind of philosophies of life change as we age. And so I think I don't want to document this as a this is how he's going to think for the rest of his life. And same for me as well. My whole episode is about, well, that whole segment last week was about this idea of casual dating and what it means and what it looks like. Um, and so I was talking with him about what I recorded and uploaded and just kind of where I'm at right now. And um, he definitely is. I mean, as a man, you're just very logical. Most men are. And he's a strong Christian. And he was just like, find the best Christian out there and marry that person. And I mean, some of the simplest things can be very difficult to master. Like they say that about baseball. Like the rules are very simple, but it doesn't mean that it's easy. I have fallen in love a handful of times in my life, and I feel like each time, each new time that I fall in love, the love is like it gets deeper, it grows in capacity, it almost like changes hue, like it's a different color, like it's not the same experience every time. And I think that as we age, you know, the words I love you or the feelings of I'm falling in love, I think it just gets more deep, I would hope. Or at least in your own heart and soul, you know that there's levels of love that you have in your life. And I mean, I'm surrounded by lots of amazing men now in my life. Um, I used to be the captain of the I Hate Men train, or the conductor, or you might say. And I walked around with this, I guess just this backpack of baggage of men in my life growing up that had disappointed me. Um, and really it's like, it's two in particular. Thankfully, all my blood relatives are amazing, and I wouldn't trade them for the world. It's people that have been chosen to come into my life that have made the biggest impact. Well, the biggest negative impact that has kind of made me see things with a more pessimistic outlook or mindset. And then I had my own experiences with men that really shocked me. And it's like you hear the stories, but it really doesn't hit until it happens to you. So, all of that to say, now I'm finally in a place in my life where, sadly, like I wish I've always been in this place, but I haven't. And I think a lot of women go through this phase, especially if they don't get married right away, or if they come from a background of trauma with men, where I had a phase in my life where I didn't really see value in men as like something that they have that women don't have. And again, this could be controversial, but all I'll say is men and women are different. And I think that that is something that ultimately, I mean, science tells us that. Uh, there are in very overgeneralizations of gender roles and things like that. But overall, if you took all the men in the world and all the women in the world, um, we just have different strengths and weaknesses. I mean, think about even like um oh, what's that called? Like women have a cycle that's 28 days on average, and men, their cycle is like 24 hours. Like things like that. Like we're just wired differently. And so for a long time I didn't see men as something that was a necessity. Like I've always wanted to be married, but I never was like, wow, I need a man. in my life. And it was just always going to be, yeah, that will add a fun spin on my life, but I don't need a man. And I feel like that's slightly shifting. And the slight shift is world changing to me. Even the slightest shift. Um and so now I feel like it's very I feel like my mindset is, this is what a man generally provides for a woman, and this is what a woman generally provides for a man. And like I shared last week, I'm missing a lot of those things in my life that a man would generally provide for a woman. And I just didn't realize, like, how much I desired that and how much I feel like the wiring of who God created me to be is like calling out, like, I'm looking for my partner. Like, I don't know. And you may be listening to this like, ugh, really? Like, you don't need no man. Like, but I just feel like something, they say it's like, it's reminding me of when people say I have an internal clock and they wake up at 7 a.m. every morning or something like that. Like, I feel like there's something inside me that's like ringing all the bells and whistles, and they're like, you know, attention, attention, we're missing a part of our life. And not that, like, that's, maybe that sounds wrong, but like, it just is like, I'm ready. I really feel like I'm out of my depressive state that I was in for, what did I decide? Like 4 months, 3 or 4 months. I feel like I'm officially out. I mean, hope to God I'm out forever, but, or at least for a very long time. And I just feel like I am looking forward to being in a relationship again and what that entails and the value it brings to my life, and all that to say, genuinely, I have prayed, like, is so and so the man for me? This was like a month ago. And I felt so strongly in my heart that God had said, no, I haven't forgotten about you. It's not that you haven't achieved a certain level of, success or a certain level of character for me to introduce this, this character of your husband to you. You can't unlock it with Christ-like actions. It's genuinely just, you haven't been in the same room. I need to transition you into a new space where you can meet him. And actually, that thought, that phrase I just said of unlocking a new character, I think, oh my gosh, I'm having a revelation right now. In the middle, or like a breakthrough, in the middle of recording this. I've tried to convey to people that, and only one person in my life has ever gotten it, that at church, it feels like single people are less than. And the people who don't get it, they're like, well, what do you mean? Like, give me an example. And I'm like, it's when the pastor is up on stage and he's like, I couldn't live without my wife. She's everything to me. And I'm like, but isn't that what you're supposed to say about God? And that hasn't been enough for people. They're like, well, but that doesn't mean that that you're less than us because you don't have that. You just don't have it yet. But it's like, no, what I'm conveying to you is, you're saying you can't live without this person, and I haven't found that person yet. So how am I supposed to live without this person that I don't even know if God has someone for me? How am I supposed to live with the idea that I may never find somebody? If you can't live without your person and you've met them, what about living with the what if? What is that supposed to feel like? sorry, I just went real preachy just for a second. But so and they just don't get it. They're like, "But you're not there yet, and that's fine. Like being single is great." I'm like, "No, no, no, no. You just said you couldn't live without your husband. But but you're telling me singleness is great. So if your husband and I don't want these people to be single. I don't want these people to be without their husband or wife. But please don't like phrase it in that way because it makes us feel less than. It makes us feel like we shouldn't be happy or that it's like not possible to be happy without your husband or wife. So going back to my revelation was in the verbiage I used when I said, God's not telling me that I need to do enough Christ-like activities or behaviors or show enough fruits of the Spirit consistently enough to unlock the new character that is my husband. I've had it in my brain that the way the world works is it's like levels in a video game. So your beginner level is a child. And then you get to be a teenager, and that's level 2, and you have a car and a job and everything. Then you get level 3, and you're in college, or you're in the workforce, or you're in the military, or you're I don't know what other options there are. And then level 3 is when you fall in love for the first time, and you're experiencing that stage of life. And maybe that's kind of levels 3 and 4 are very close to each other. Then level 5 is when you get married, and level 6 is when you have kids. And again, I understand that people do these things out of order, but it's like quote unquote out of order of how I just said them. But it's like I I think I've felt that way my whole life, and I just realized that the reason that I have felt less than in the past about being single is because it feels like I'm behind. And I know that's a thing that people say, but it's like I feel like I am at a lower level in this video game than you are. Like, obviously, you have enough skill to have mastered singleness, and now you're dating, and now you're engaged, and now you're married because you're just better than me. You figured it out. You have figured it out with God. You have met the expectation, and I haven't. And I have to get my crap right with God. And I think some of that is in the messaging of, well, are you the Christian that you would want to be married to? And I think that that is good. Like, you don't want to you don't want to be okay with where you're at. Like, you should always be wanting to grow, especially in Christ, if you're a Christian. But it's like Paul and Jesus, basically all of the New Testament is Paul and Jesus words. They were both single. And Jesus was literally perfect. And Paul was, he was awful and was saved by God and wrote a lot of the New Testament that we use for the foundation of our religion. So, and I've had an experience where I was told, like, I can't be in this position if I'm not married in the church. It was a very, very small position, not even like a volunteer position. It wasn't even a leadership position. I guess maybe a tiny bit. Um, but there, it's like reinforced that you're not Christ-like enough. You're not committed to God enough. You're not this enough to be married. So can we trust you with this responsibility? It just is not right. You know how many people are married and they are well, I mean, so many people are married that are not Christian. For one, doesn't mean you're a bad person. I'm just in the context of what I'm saying. So that doesn't really fit in with this template, this roadmap that I've had in my mind. But like people get married and then they get divorced and they're Christians. And so anyway, I feel like for my adult life, I've really wrestled with God of what love is supposed to be. I also am, like, thinking now I said this was gonna be short. Nothing's ever short with me. Yeah, I just wanted to share that because if you're out there and you're single and yearning for marriage, or if you're dating and you're yearning for engagement, engaged and yearning for marriage, married and yearning for kids, any of those stages of life that you're yearning for the next stage, the reason you're not in the next phase yet is not because you're not good enough. It's because God is sovereign over everything and he orchestrates every piece to fit in the exact right position to advance the kingdom of God and to move time forward toward this, revelation that we have planned for us where God is victorious over Satan and he comes back and all of that. Like, that is the purpose. It's not because, oh, once Ellie reaches this level of Christ-like character, then I can unlock this new character as her husband, and then she can be in the next level of Christianity called marriage. And then she gets more responsibilities in the church because she can be trusted with that because she's married. Like, it's just baloney, dude. Like, that is not it. And I just am so frustrated that I feel like that lie is interwoven in churches sometimes. And I don't know if anyone else feels this way. I hope that I'm not the only one that feels this way. I mean, I hope that only because I'm like, it makes so much sense to me, and maybe I'm just way off kilter, but I don't know. That was good to get that off my chest. We'll see how much of that actually makes the cut. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with dating. Um, yeah, let's get into our media roundup. Let's see. What am I reading? Well, right now I'm back on my Wicked book. It is so dense. I've been reading this book since the beginning of the year. I got it for Christmas. Me and my aunt were gonna do a book club with it. Probably with my grandma because we all went to go see the movie together. I need y'all to, if you know me, send me a DM or a message if you have read Wicked in its entirety. Um, it is hard to get through. It really has been a great story. I think I'm halfway done, finally. And I'm to the part where they got to Emerald City and they met the wizard, which I think was, the animatronic thing. Sometimes the verbiage and the vocabulary and the made up words that he makes up uh make it hard to imagine where I'm at. Like, isn't the point of strong vocabulary to make it a more vivid imagery? But I feel like maybe I'm just not, like, enough of a bookworm to know. Maybe I do need to sit down and look up all the words I don't know, and there have been books like that, and I learn a lot, and it's great, but I don't know. It's very, very different than the movie and the musical. Um, I mean, the characters are pretty much the same, and the major plot points are similar, but the whole journey to get there is different. Movie-wise, I think last week I talked about the Captain America movie that I watched. This week I watched 2 movies. No, I'm sorry, 1 movie, right? Yeah, I watched the Twister, or what, I don't even remember what it was called. The Joplin tornado documentary on Netflix. Wow. I had family members telling me not to watch it because it was super triggering for them. Because my family and I were. I wasn't gonna share this, but I'm from Joplin. We'll say that, okay? And My family members, I have a couple of family members that went through it, who they were, thank God, in their shelters, but they heard it above them, or they were related to someone who their house was destroyed. Um, and I was in 6th grade when it happened, and I want to say it was the next day was when I went out with my mom, and we drove to my aunt's house. And it was just such a shock of seeing this entire town in debris. And it wasn't like debris in the trees, debris on the ground. It was only debris. Like think of if you built a Lego house and then someone picked up that Lego house and smashed it on the ground. That's what, like, a giant path of Joplin, that's what it looked like. I remember it clear as day. Driving down Range Line and looking at all I saw was, like, raw wood or, like, wood that was, like, infrastructure or wood of trees. Like, that's all you saw. And, like, insulation, like the pink, like cotton candy like stuff, that was everywhere. Like metal sheets of like crumpled up sheets of metal cars crunched everywhere. Like that's what you saw everywhere. And it had rained, so everything was wet and disgusting. So we get to my aunt's house. I didn't realize this was going to be a story time, but we're here, and we're driving to my aunt's house, and again, I don't remember, like, what it looked like before, but I could draw you a picture if I was artistic, I could draw you a picture from memory. We walk in, and I'm just feeling like, because 'cause you're in so much shock, so you're not really, like your senses are so overloaded that you're not observing everything the way you would not in shock. So we walk in the door. Her house was standing. But we walk in and everything's on the floor and it's sopping wet. And I'm like, and here's the thing, if you're a family member of mine and this is not how it actually happened, you can shoot me a text. But this is what my 6th grade brain remembers, okay? Like, don't call me out on the internet. But yeah, just shoot me a text, be like, hey, that's not actually how it happened. But this is I'm pretty sure it happened, okay? So we walk in and everything's on the ground, everything's soaking wet. I do remember she had, like, a MacBook, I'm pretty sure, and I wanna say it was green. And it was on the ground, and it was wet, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, like, why is everything wet?" And we look up, and the roof is gone, and we see the sky, and, like, it was just another punch to the gut, like and her house was stone, so that I mean, it's literally like what they say in the Three Little Pigs, like, "Don't build your house with straw or hay, and don't make your house with wood, make it with brick," or whatever. Like, her house was stone, so the walls were up, but, I mean, her whole roof was blown away, so it's just yeah, very crazy. I was in Carthage at the time, I was at my grandparents' house, and we took shelter in a closet, and my little sister had a hamster or I think we had a dwarf hamster at the time, and that hamster was digging in the hay or the whatever you call it that was in its cage. I mean, it was digging for its life. Like, get in the ground and take shelter. And that's when I knew, I'm like, something's happening here. This is not your average tornado warning. And my dad is listening to the radio, I think, or something on his phone, maybe I can't remember. And he just keeps saying like Walmart's gone, Home Depot's flat, like things like that. Like Academy's gone. And I was like, wait, Walmart? My mom works in Walmart. Because at the time she worked at the portrait studio, which gosh, we don't even have a portrait studio in Walmart's anymore. but she was working in the portrait studio at Walmart, and we have 2 Walmarts in Joplin. We at the time, we did. And I was just freaking out. I'm like, "What do you mean Walmart's gone?" Like like, I had grown up knowing about tornadoes, but you see them like, in fields, you see, like, fences blown away, you don't see major damage, like, maybe you see, like, some shingles ripped off, but when he said Walmart was gone, Home Depot was flat, I'm like, "That doesn't make any sense. I don't understand." And it wasn't until we were driving out there that I truly understood. But thank God my mom was in the other Walmart. So she was okay. She was not even injured. No one in my family was injured, just emotionally scarred. Um, so yeah. Anyway, gosh, this is gonna be long. I'm sorry, guys. Hopefully this is interesting to you. If it's not, genuinely don't feel like you have to listen because you're my friend. Just say that's not my thing, and just I'll be like, great, okay. Like genuinely a bit okay. Like that's totally fine. Um, anyway, all that to say, I watched the documentary and oh my gosh, it gave me chills. To me, in the best way. I am so fascinated by all these things, but I think if I had, like, gone through it, I don't know if I would've felt the same way. Because there are definitely things where I'm triggered by them and I don't want to experience things that are similar to that, but it followed 3 main stories and then 1 other story. The 3 main stories were people who, like, were actually caught in the storm. That's what it's called, caught in the storm. And it was very intense. Um, I'm really surprised I didn't find out about the guy who was actually sucked up into the tornado. Excuse me? Like, huh? And he survived? They called him like the miracle boy or something. I am like, how did I not hear about that? But being in 6th grade, like, you're not hearing what all the adults are hearing about. So that's part of it. And probably my parents were like, we're not trying to tell you about this dude who has a flesh-eating fungus because he got sucked up into a tornado, like, that's crazy. So, that was really good. I really enjoyed it. I honestly might watch it again. It kinda makes me feel alive, like, I was a part of that. Well, I mean, not really. I associate myself with it, but I really wasn't a part of it. Like, I was in the town over. But, like, my aunt's house was affected. There was a couple of Joplin people that ended up coming to our school because they needed to or they wanted to. And that was my town was affected. So, I don't know. I kind of wear it like a badge of honor. I survived the Joplin tornado. Is that a little far fetched? Yeah. But I don't know. I like to be included in things like that, be a part of history. Um, last thing, TV shows I'm watching. I'm done with Atlanta season 7. I get through those really quick though. I'm now on Beverly Hills season I don't know. What season am I on? I'm on Beverly Hills season 5. And Lisa Renner just came on, and she's one that I see memes about all the time, so I'm looking forward to her. Still really can't stand Brandy. I'll always love Lisa Vanderpump. Even though I don't really like her show Vanderpump Rules, I think she's iconic. I love Kyle. Um, Kim is growing on I love Yolanda. Mm, there's this new girl, Eileen, which I don't really have a vibe on her yet. Who else is in the show? I think that's the main people. I'm probably forgetting someone super important. I miss Adrian. I loved Adrian so much. Um, Taylor's story was insane from a couple years ago. Or, I'm sorry, a couple seasons ago. This was like back in the freaking 2010s. Um, I do not miss Camille. Camille is ugh, annoying. um, yeah, but I really like Beverly Hills. That's one of my Atlanta's probably my top favorite, then Beverly Hills. Um, those are my top 2 for sure. I don't really New Jersey and New York are okay. Oh, I do like, Orange County. It's kinda changing though. It's like when the housewives change and some of your iconic ones leave or the friendships are weird now, like, it kinda mm, it's not as good as it used to be. Orange County is not. I absolutely cannot stand Miami. I think the girls are so annoying, and I wish I didn't I don't have to watch it, but in my OCD brain, I'm doing a marathon of all the Bravo Housewives shows and spinoffs, so I have to watch it. Love being me. Um, but aside from Housewives, another marathon that I'm always doing is the Marvel marathon. So last week I watched the new Captain America movie, which I said was okay. Now I'm watching the new Daredevil series, which I think I mentioned last week that I was not looking forward to it. It is much better than I expected. Um, Spoiler alert, if you don't want to listen, just click forward a few like a minute or two, but Kingpin is still the villain. Thank God. Love that guy. I literally have a shirt in my cart that has Kingpin on it. It's like a t-shirt. And it says who's the monster and it has Kingpin on it. And I don't think he's attractive, but it's so hot that a man would be like so in love with his wife that he would like kill people and like burn the world down. I think it's hot. I don't think he's hot, but I'm like I'm invested in you. Like I care about you. So sometimes I go with the villain. And with this show, I very much go with the villain, Daredevil, but Daredevil seems to have a love interest, so maybe it's like it the superhero needs to have some sort of vulnerability for me to like them. If they don't have any love interest, then it's like, where's your weakness? Where's your person? Like with Peter Parker, it's either Aunt May or MJ. And in the last one, oh my god. Was it this last one that Aunt May died? That was so gut wrenching. And or if it was not that one, it was the one before. God, I swear, I I love these things that I talk about, but if it's not real life, my brain just shoots it right out of my brain. It's like in one ear, out the other. It's like, nope, this is not important. Um, I've started this new thing where I have movie nights at home. So this last time I did it for the first time, I bought movie theater popcorn from the theater. I bought movie theater candy from Walmart and I got a drink and but I had a movie night at home, but I did it with the Daredevil show. I watched the first 2 episodes and then I went on New Rockstars on YouTube and watched their reactions and then like their like Easter egg sightings and like they kind of like tell you what's happening in the show with like according to like comics and like everything that they know and it's very helpful because Marvel is starting to get very complicated. I can make sense of it, but I don't know like, oh, that villain is an iconic villain, from the comics. Like I don't know any of that. But I can like figure out what's going on in the story. It's just I don't know. So anyway, that'll be my show of choice for a while. But I like to watch Daredevil when I'm sitting down and watching it because you have to like study it because it's Marvel. But like Housewives, I just have on like when I'm getting ready, and things like that. So while I'm eating dinner, like I don't really have to think when I'm watching Housewives. So yeah. Anyway, well I think this is all for me. Anyway, if you're my friend and you're listening to this, um, go ahead and shoot me a text because it's very fun watching your guys' reactions to it. I've had 2 friends that I know of for sure that have listened to it. Love you guys. It's funny to hear you guys react to some things that I say. And if you don't know who I am, I hope that you get to know me more as you continue to listen. I'm clearly an open book, so I'm not really hiding much except for names and things that could bite me one day if I shared them on the internet. So, yeah. Well, have a great week, guys, and I will see you all next Saturday. Bye.